Before we jump into the next clip, I just want to tell you real quick, we got a new audio network. Go to tyt.com/audio and get all of our new podcasts.
A federal judge has ruled to block the release of the downloadable blueprints that would allow people to essentially print guns on 3D printers. Now, this was set to take effect August 1st, meaning tomorrow people would be able to access those blueprints and then print guns on these 3D printers. But luckily, this federal judge in Seattle has issued a temporary restraining order to stop the release of the blueprints. And by the way, these guns would be untraceable and undetectable. They would be made of materials that wouldn't be detected through a metal detector, and untraceable because they wouldn't have serial codes on them or anything that would allow the authorities to trace them. Now, who is the person behind these blueprints? Who's trying to make this widely available to Americans? A man by the name of Cody Wilson. Defense Distributed announced its plans to make 3D gun blueprints, including a single-shot pistol called the Liberator, an AR-15 lower receiver, and a complete Beretta M9 handgun available on August 1st. And by the way, they thought they were going to be able to do this because they reached a settlement with the federal government under the Trump administration. They tried to get this approved under the Obama administration, and of course it didn't get approved. Under Trump, it did get approved, but it seems like Trump didn't know anything about it. Now, keep in mind that the NRA is not necessarily in favor of this because it means weapons manufacturers, the very weapons manufacturers that fund their organizations, are gonna lose money because then you can just go ahead and print a gun with a 3D printer, right? So here's what Trump had to say about this whole ordeal. I am looking into 3D plastic guns being sold to the public. Already spoke to NRA, doesn't seem to make much sense. Your federal government reached this settlement with the guy who's trying to make these blueprints legal, widely available. You did that. I mean, it's incredible.
Okay, I got to give you two told yous. So first told you is when this 3D gun printing story came out that the Trump government was going to allow it. I remember John and I discussed it on the show, and I said the NRA is not going to like this. They're in favor of every lax gun regulation there is, and this is obviously lax gun regulation. Hey, everybody can have a gun, and their whole argument is Second Amendment. I got to protect myself against the government, right? And we said NRA wouldn't like it. Turns out Trump there admits in the tweet he spoke to the NRA, and they don't like it. Why? Because they don't give a damn about your rights. They don't even care about the Second Amendment at all. All they care is, are we making money for weapons manufacturers? Because those are the people who fund us. If they're not making money, then screw your Second Amendment rights. No, I don't want you to get a 3D gun printed, okay? I want you to buy it from the guys who are bribing me.
Yep.
That is why a lot of times the NRA will actually have positions that were opposed to their members. 77% of their members want federal background checks. The NRA says no, then my gun manufacturers won't be able to sell enough guns. So I don't care what my members say. What do you think? I actually give a damn about you? No, where's the money, Lebowski? That's all the NRA is. It's deeply corrupt. Now, the second told you is Trump, after the shooting in Florida, came out and said, well, I'm gonna be tough on the NRA. These Republican governors and senators can't do it, but I'm gonna be tough. I said, no, he's not. They're gonna tell him, hey, idiot, they gave you $30 million during the election. They gave $50 million to the Republican Party overall. Bow your head. And Trump's not an actual alpha male. He's just stupid. He didn't think to check how much the NRA had given him. A couple of days later, he comes out and he's like, but we don't really need to do any of that stuff. Yeah, whatever the NRA says. I told you. And then look at this tweet. He says, I checked with the NRA and they say they're not. You're so stupid.
It's amazing.
You're not supposed to say I checked with the NRA.
I know.
You're not supposed to say I checked with my donors and they gave me my orders because I work for them. You're supposed to hide that and pretend that you came to a principled conclusion on this.
But by the way, besides which, it was your federal government who agreed to this settlement with Cody Wilson, the guy who wants to publish these blueprints, right? By the way, not only did they tell him, yeah, effective August 1st, you can publish those blueprints, they even paid his legal fees to the tune of $40,000. But he doesn't know about this? Oh, I looked into 3D guns for the first time ever after reaching this settlement? I mean,
do your goddamn homework, man. But nobody can tell him anything because he doesn't care to do the job. You think he knew about that case? Like, people assume that he knows the things that we know in the news. No, he doesn't. He's an empty-headed fool. You think he's asking about any federal rulings? You think he even knows what a federal ruling is? Okay.
Judges, why do we need judges?
I mean, he literally said, why do we need judges? He said, what, are they gonna get him from a barber shop? Why would they get him from a barber shop? Why would they do that, right? We have an
Isn't that where all the judges are?
Moron as president and obviously corrupt. So look, but the great irony of all this is that at the end of the day, we're always trying to be principled here. And so as much as I despise the NRA and I despise Trump, and for completely different reasons, we're coming to the same conclusion. Do not do the 3D printed guns. I know they care about making money off of death, right? That's their concern. My concern is less death. I mean, the liberator, who are you going to liberate? You're going to liberate somebody from their lives, right? So the whole idea of this is, oh, well, you know, in Second Amendment, I'm in the woods and I printed my gun and the government's coming to get me. So look, let's just be clear. In your plan, you would be murdering government officials.
Well, okay, Cody Wilson, again, the person behind all this, the person who wants to publish the blueprints online, has said some pretty terrible things, done some pretty terrible things. We have some videos to prove it. Let's go to the first video of Cody Wilson.
Joe Biden, this is no country for old men.
Okay.
No, that's, look, if we had any sanity in the country, he'd immediately be arrested. You can't threaten to kill government officials like that, and they brag about it. And if he had said Mike Pence and then said, this is what I think of Mike Pence, and shot a gun, Secret Service should be at his door the very next day, whether it's Pence, Trump, Biden, or Obama. You can't, these lunatics are going around like celebrating the idea of murdering people who work in the government. It's not a thing to be celebrated.
Also, I mean, with all the shootings that have happened in, crowded events, think about the fact that metal detectors wouldn't even, detect these guns. They would be made of materials that wouldn't be detected. So that's a terrifying situation to deal with.
There's only two sets of people who want guns without serial numbers. One is criminals, obviously, and the other is lunatics waiting in the woods to do some sort of armed revolution against government. Like, people just assume like, oh, that's a normal thing. Oh yeah, that's what the Second Amendment's for. No, that would mean that you would wait in the woods and murder what? Cops? They're the government officials with the guns, right? With the authority. You would murder FBI officials, you would murder people in the military, and then you want to talk about NFL players taking a knee during the anthem? You're planning to murder all these law enforcement officials while you're sitting in the woods with your gun that you printed out? Because let's speak, that's what you're saying, right? I mean, well, I had to do a revolution against the government, it was tyranny, man. So that's why I murdered all those cops. By the way, it's not theoretical. There are crazed right-wing groups that do go around killing cops. There's dozens of these stories. The one that I remember that sticks out to me is the guy.
God, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you. This is breaking. He had already posted the online blueprints. So this is according to CBS. It wasn't supposed to happen before midnight tonight, but it turns out the founder of the radical pro-gun group has already posted online blueprints for using 3D printers to make guns.
Luckily, it's pretty expensive now, and the guys in the woods can't afford to figure out a 3D printer. But some of them will have it. Some of them will have it, and now it's out in the world. And by the way, he had posted it before the government told him not to, and it had already been downloaded millions of times, and including by America's enemies. So,
what a patriotic guy, yeah.
Yeah. So and the story I was telling was that in Vegas, guy right winger shoots 2 cops dead. He says he does it for freedom. And then he lays down a Gadsden flag over their dead bodies. The Gadsden flag is the one that says, "Don't tread on me." So these lunatics, they're already out there and they're killing cops. And then you tell me about how blue lives matter? And now he's got already put it online.
Are there gonna be consequences for it? That's what I wanna know, right? I mean, even if the judge had not blocked it, which the judge in Seattle did block it, he still posted it before he was supposed to. So are there ever gonna be consequences for anyone on the right?
And by the way, if you go to arrest the guy for violating an order, if he did, right? What's he gonna do? Oh, here comes tyranny. God knows what he's gonna do to the cops who's coming to arrest him. So we actually care about all human beings. Yes, including cops. We just want them to do a better job of not shooting unarmed people. But do we want them getting shot? Hell no, we don't. So protect the cops against these lunatics. And if you're gonna go arrest right-wingers, go with a lot of force. Because this is not a situation where, I saw a guy with a toy gun in a Walmart or a 12-year-old in a park. They do have weapons. Be careful. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.